What's up, Juventini? Alberto here. Got all your Juve news. All right, Juve sparking up talks with another free agent. We'll take a look at the details there. Decisions for Juve, as we have a long list of players that Juve is going to have to make a decision on before 2025 in terms of renewals. And then injury woes continue. Alcaraz, the latest to hit the shelf, but we get good news on the injury front as well. And then the Muller to Juventus rumor has sparked a discussion that I've been bringing up all season long in terms of experienced players. We'll get into that as well. So like the video, subscribe to the channel. This is the AJC. Let's rock. First things first, Juve initiating talks with Lloyd Kelly, 25-year-old defender from Bournemouth. He is set to become a free agent this summer. He was linked with Juventus previously with Thiago Giallo. Obviously, we brought in Thiago Giallo in the winter mercado. He is close to finally making his debut with Juventus, and he's also alluding to that on some social media posts himself. So hopefully we get to see him in action soon. But Lloyd Kelly still being brought up with links to Juve, and now talks have been initiated. We will see. I always thought it would be between one of them, with Giallo and Lloyd Kelly, but maybe, just maybe, these circumstances we are in financially are kind of changing the tone, and I think the tone has been the same for a couple years now. It's not necessarily what Juve want, it's what Juve can get. Lloyd Kelly might be a signal of what's to come. We will see. Dean Huijsen, Roma wants to keep him around. A second loan spell is what they're going to fight for, and all signs are pointed to Juventus absolutely not being willing to let that happen. All right, Huijsen coming back to Juventus. Rabiot, the latest rumors suggest that Juve could offer up a 2-year deal at the same money for Adrian Rabiot. Rabiot is one of many decisions Juventus is going to have to make. When it comes to Rabiot, you guys know where I stand. I'm ready to see him off and say thank you and goodbye. I think we should go a different route in the middle of the park. All right, now in terms of our list of players before 2025 renewal or say goodbye basically from Juventus, you have Rabiot as one of them. Rugani, and all talks point to a contract extension coming at season's end. Gazzetta says all renewals will be put off until the spring, but Rugani set to get one. McKennie set to get one, and you know what? I'm fine with that, even if we look to potentially sell and cash in if his value goes up based on the season he's having. Szczesny, Perin, and Pinsolio all will have to be decisions Juve makes before the end of 2025 season. Szczesny, rumors continue to suggest he's going to extend at a lowered salary. Then you have Danilo, De Sciglio, Chiesa, and Illing Jr. De Sciglio, bye-bye. Illing Jr. doesn't look like a renewal's coming, and he's got interest out of England, most likely being sold. And Chiesa, even if you want to sell him, I think you got to renew him. So that's a long list of decisions Juve is going to have to make. Hit me in the comments with your thoughts on each of those players on that list, all right, and what you would do. Now, in terms of the injury list, we get some good news as McKennie could be back in the fold against Atalanta, all right? So great stuff there, but some bad news too, and that's Alcaraz. Alcaraz, the latest to hit the shelf, all right? Hamstring injury, will be reevaluated in 10 to 15 days. Definitely out for the Atalanta game, all right? And this one hurts. We get PTSD when we're talking about muscular injuries, and it's infuriating and it sucks. The last time you look at this guy's injury listed, it's back in like the 21-22 season, and if I'm not mistaken, somewhere around 5-6 games. So it is infuriating, but I think overall muscular injuries in general have been down significantly at Juventus, but it's also not apples to apples because we're only playing in one competition, all right? So it's hard to gauge. We can only gauge what's going on in terms of the training regimen and whatnot as we get back into European play. But this one sucks. And I thought Alcaraz was bringing the traits and abilities and mindset we needed in the middle of the pitch, and now we lose him. Miretti will still probably be called upon to take over that role, and if McKennie can get in, he will be in against Atalanta. Otherwise, you're probably looking at a midfield with Caviglia, Locatelli, and Miretti, all right, which could still be absolutely fine, but Max might probably throw a guy like Danilo into middle of the park instead. It's going to be interesting to see what develops as the days go on, all right? And now the Muller to Juventus rumor that sparked a discussion that's something I've been saying for quite some time. All right. Now, what's funny about the Muller to Juventus rumor is that on all the platforms we're on, they're all different. All right. So on YouTube, vast majority, no. All right. On the other platforms, it's close to a split or majority, yes, saying bring in Muller. You guys know where I stand. It's a no on Muller. But the discussion that comes out of this is experienced players. What I've said all season is that the guys we do have that are experienced simply aren't cutting it. And I also think there's a big difference between experienced players and experienced champions and leaders and winning mentality. If you look at our experienced guys, how many of them are actually consistent this season? Not many. And that brings me to a major problem that we've had at Juventus is these guys have not been able to pull their weight. And unfortunately, it has a fan base looking at very young players to come in as saviors, which is extremely wrong. Furthermore, when we look at the project and we look at where we're at, project essentially, the word on its own means to me under construction. All right. And when we go back to a move like Lloyd Kelly, it's really showing you that is Juve going with this big youth movement, or is it just a product of the circumstances we are currently in? For me, it's more that. But quality should still be our goal long term, is getting in quality players regardless of age. Now, Muller, it's a no from me. But age does not stop me from bringing in Toni Kroos if he's available, because he would instantly walk into this midfield, instantly boss it for us, and the young guys can be mentored by Kroos. So it's kind of this mixed bag with Juventus. What is this project? Nobody really knows right now. But for me, this build that everybody's been ragging on for 3 years hasn't even truly begun. And I don't think it actually does begin. And I don't think we will know Juve's true intentions of how they want to operate until the finances are cleaned up. Agree? Disagree? Hit me in the comments, everybody. But that wraps up your daily news break. You guys know the drill. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, share the content. Let's mix it up in the comments, everybody. Fino alla fine. Forza Juve. Ciao tutti.